Hey, I'm
Hey,
Brian,
and I'm Kristen.
and this is the Brian and Kristen podcast. Welcome to our podcast, and we are going live for the first time, episode 10. This is live. How do you feel about that, Kristen?
I'm not sure. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter because it's not like we edit or do anything to it anyway. So you get the real footage anyway. But here we are live.
Here we are live, and I'm just hoping that my internet connection stays strong enough to make it through.
Again,
But
first world problems.
yeah, that's true, man. Oh
Brian's all worked up. I don't know how this is going to work. Well, at least we have internet.
my. True, first world problems. Yeah, that's not a very big problem. That's a good point. Getting spoiled out here on this internet in this world. So, how's life treating you, Kristen?
It's been pretty busy, a little bit stressful. Probably like in about a week or so, I will share where I have been for the last month or so. But until then, stay tuned.
Cool, excellent. We'll stay tuned. Hopefully, in a week or two, you'll have some more stories you can share with us, and it'll all be gravy.
Yep.
So that'll be awesome. Well, I'm holding down the fort in Ohio. I got back from Florida last week. I was driving back from some shows out there, and I had your car. I mean, I had my car left at your place and had been there for several months, and then
Several months, like half a year.
half a year. Yeah, I had a good strategy planned. I mean, I had a car here in Ohio, and then I'd fly to Florida and get the car at your place and drive it. But they finally put, "You better move this car. You're going to get towed warning on it." So I had to drive back home, um, drive the car back to Ohio. So that's where it is now. But everything's safe and nobody got towed.
Good. How long did
Yep.
it take you to get home?
A day and a half because it's a 16-hour drive. So it took a little while. And actually, by that point, I was leaving from Naples, which was really, Naples is a very beautiful place. So that was pretty cool. Good drive back, no, nice weather the whole time. I got super sunburnt on the driver's arm. I don't know if you can see that compared to this, but look how much difference that is. Can you make out?
Yeah, I guess.
So, well, I guess we should get into this week's question, which comes from George Silva. He's good, man. He's got some good questions. He's got his second question. His first one was how many Bryans would it take or how many Kristens would it take to pin a Bryan? And this week he taught us that there was a WNBA basketball player, and Kristen, let me know if you know of this player, named Maya Moore. Have you ever heard of this player in the W?
Negative. No, I do not know this person.
Okay, so I don't know this person either. And apparently, this person was the best WNBA player in history.
What? And nobody knows. That's pathetic. Everybody knows Michael Jordan. We know all the other. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes, I was like, I don't know who this person is. So I went on to YouTube. I said, let's see how you pronounce the name right and everything. And it was she has won 4 WNBA championships and is basically, the Michael Jordan or at least the Steph Curry of the WNBA. So
And no, yeah, wow. And I feel like, I mean, you and I know sports. Well, you definitely know sports really well. And I feel like I know sports pretty well, especially for a female, and never even heard of the person, this woman. Shouldn't even say the
yeah,
person.
that right there goes to show you why men get paid more for sports than women.
Yes, unfortunately.
I gotta say, that's just that's the best player ever in the WNBA, apparently, according to this YouTube video I watched. And and I was watching and she was nailing shots like crazy. So I believe it. And she just retired like 2 or 3 years ago and now has a book out. And but the question was, would Maya Moore, who would win in a basketball game to 100, Maya Moore or Mia Moore? And Mia Moore is my girlfriend, which is a Spanish name there, but that's not a real name. But so that's the question: who would win a basketball game to 100 between those two? What do you think about that, Kristen?
Okay, first of all, I'm impressed that you did the research on it because I didn't even think to research who this basketball player was. I was just trying to figure out how I would do that comparison. So, um, since I've never met your Mia Moore, I don't feel like she's very tall. So I feel like that's playing against her. Or
That's
maybe that's
playing
just
against you for sure.
stereotyping.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't know. I feel like she probably has good strategy. Maybe if there was like a bake off or something with cooking, your Mia Moore might win. But I feel like from an athletic perspective, it's going to take her a bit to outbeat the how do you say the in WNBA? It's
WNBA.
yeah. What's her? No, what's her name? It's
Oh, Maya Moore.
Maya Moore. Okay.
Mayamore.
Yeah, I feel like she might outbeat her like probably pretty quickly. But I feel like there's other skill sets that your Mia Moore has that would beat her. So I don't know.
Yeah, um, I think it would be a pretty. I think Maya Moore would quickly get to a 50-point lead, and then and then Mia Moore would start learning how to play a little bit, and might be able to catch up somewhat, but it would be hard to beat all that experience. Now, that being said, had Maya Moore grown up in Honduras and Mia Moore grown up in America, I think Mia Moore would beat her.
Why so?
Well, because Maya Moore had the privilege of growing up in America where you play sports from the time you're a little kid till throughout your whole life. Where Mia Moore grew up in Honduras and she said she played 1 year of basketball in maybe fourth or fifth grade, but you got to start working in the shops right away and making money. So there's no game time, there's no play time. And
Maybe that year in the third or fourth grade, like, just gave her enough muscle memory to really come out of the gate strong. See, I didn't have that back fact.
yeah, so, yeah, that's a good back fact.
I mean, she's like, "Yeah, it was, like, awesome when I was in the 3rd or 4th grade. Just get me back on the court, and you never know what's gonna happen."
I think that that's just the thing. Now, and also the thing is, if they would swap countries, swap countries and places, because let's be the people in Honduras are not the gargantuans that we are here in America. I mean, I mean, when I went, I felt like I was Shaq. I was just looking over at people. I go into the coffee shop,
And let's put it you're what, 6 feet?
about
6'1"?
6 foot tall.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
So, so I would be dwarfed by anybody in the actual NBA college. Even the guys in high school basketball team were way taller than me, most of them. So, so I think that would play pretty heavy into it. Now, could now if it was a cook off, clearly Mia Moore would win. If it was keeping some stuff organized, I think that Mia Moore would win on a lot of the other stuffs. But I don't. I just think that Maya Moore had the advantage of being an American, and despite a lot of the WNBA players not liking America until they get arrested for going to Russia and smoking weed.
Wait, time out. We made it 8 minutes and 45 seconds. You're getting better. You're getting better.
Mom's gonna have a criticism of this podcast because I just said and and I didn't keep it uncontroversial. So
Well, we almost made it.
we almost made it. I mean, we were halfway through.
Halfway.
In a 15-minute podcast, 8 minutes is actually a little bit longer than than halfway before I made a somewhat controversial remark. But I think I've kept it pretty much in the boundaries. Speaking of basketball, in bounds so far.
Inbounds, no pun intended.
Yes, exactly. So we've come. So, what if you were to say what would the final score be of the Maya Moore versus Mia Moore basketball score?
I mean, I'm gonna go 25, 100, but are we playing to like who gets to 100 first, or is there a time frame? Like, there's some different factors I'd probably need to know.
I guess it would be a game to 100. Who gets 100 first?
Okay. Maya Moore gets 100, but I think Mia Moore gets 25.
25.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that it goes about 50-2, and then
I was being generous, of course. It's like, well, of
yeah.
course, give them the benefit of the doubt. It'll be fine.
But then after it goes 50-2, I think Mia Moore gets angry, which nobody's ever seen happen before, and gets it up to 100-75. She gets
Oh,
almost there,
I, I
and then
I feel like she'd have good strategy. I feel like she just
yeah,
needs to watch something and then like strategy kicks in and then she can out strategize some athletic performances how I feel that would work out.
and I think if they did a series, if they did a 7-game series like they do in the pros, it would go 2-0 for Maya Moore, and then Mia Moore would pull up an upset, and then Maya Moore would kind of freak out that Mia Moore just pulled off an upset. Then it would go 2-2, and then Mia Moore would probably lose the next one, and then win the next two somehow at the end with my good coaching. Because that's another thing. Maya Moore doesn't have me coaching. Okay, Mia Moore got me coaching.
I'm not sure how that works in somebody's favor or against them.
I would say, throw the elbow, throw the elbow.
And if anyone's tuning in, they're like, what are they actually talking about right now? It sounds so confusing.
Okay, so there's a basketball game between Maya Moore, the WNBA player, the Michael Jordan of the WNBA, versus my girlfriend who's 5'7" from Honduras and maybe 5'5", but let's just say heels count.
Exactly.
So,
I can see her out there in heels too, like all dressed all nice in heels, like running around. She's like, I need my heels for an extra 2 inches.
so that's what we think. But ultimately, regardless of the basketball score and all the drama and everything that happens, ultimately Mia Moore wins because she's dating me. So I think that's MVP status right there.
And then maybe everybody will know her.
Yes, I mean her YouTube videos are already catching Maya Moore with all the great YouTube videos I've been doing of her walking Bestie the dog. So
Oh, so almost celebrity status already.
so that's where we're at with this topic this week. And if you're those of you watching and listening, um, send us your questions. Each week we answer questions from the audience. So give us a like, a thumbs up, a subscribe, whatever. But send us questions so we got more questions to go on in the future, and they can be any type of questions. As we've had a wide spectrum of questions so far, and each one is always fun.
Yeah, I was
So
gonna say we've gone from super serious to well, I'm not gonna say this one's not serious, but we might have other bigger world issues to solve, but this one was a fun one.
yeah, well, this wasn't as serious as the last one, which was why aren't they basically chopping up people who are doing child trafficking, which is out there. That was the one before. So I mean, asking us about kind of the movie um, freedom of, sounds of freedom to talking about this one. There's a wide spectrum. Pigs fly, and so. But that was, hey, Kristen, that was great. We're going to be wrapping up here right at the final minute here. You got anything else you want to say or anything before we head out?
Not really. Do we have a question for next week yet? If not,
We got to get one for next week. I don't think we got one for next week yet, so I got to go through and see. But guys, please leave a question and let us know if this live broadcast came out okay. And that's pretty much for me, Kristen. I'm going to
yeah.
be out getting some shows next week in Springfield, Ohio, and Columbus, and then we'll figure out life after that. But thanks for joining me.
All right. Bye.
Cool. See you on the next one.